Hello, everybody. Here we are again. Today, we're going to do everything wrong with moderates in this country. And again, like with all these videos, I start them off the same way. I'm not here to beat up on anybody. That's not the problem. Every political faction in this country has something that they need to work on. And all we can really do in politics is concentrate on the people around us and trying to counteract the BS that the media within all of these groups tell us. So moderates in this country. The number one issue with moderates in this country is that they see themselves as like the arbiters of like the final check and balance. Like they are responsible for ensuring that we have a proper balance of power in order for the government to not become too corrupt or something like that. Well, you know, if we think about it over the last 15 to 20 years, how's that worked out for moderates? Moderates, every election, every midterm election, you know, it's the exact same thing. Every midterm election, all the media outlets from everywhere talk about how, well, it's all going to just depend on how the economy is doing. And if it's not doing great, the headlines aren't great, then people are going to vote for the party that's not in power. And honestly, in this last election, even though the Democrats did a lot better than people expected, well, Democratic enthusiasm was a ton higher than it normally is in this type of situation. And there were a lot of people that don't generally get involved in politics actually showed up to the polls as well. And the Democrats still barely held on. So that means that moderates pretty much just did what moderates generally do. And now let's break this down and think about that for a second. So we all understand, no matter if you're on the left, right, media, you know, in the middle, anywhere, we all understand that our politicians are lazy. They don't really work for the people. They don't feel like they have to do anything for the people. Now, you tell me, if you're a moderate in this country, if moderates just constantly switch power back and forth based on who's ever not in office, you tell me why anybody in the government would ever want to actually do anything. They don't have to do anything. All they have to do is wait 2 years. That's it. All they have to do is wait a couple of years for somebody to vote them out of office. Now, again, not again, because I haven't really mentioned it, but we're talking about federal politics, not state politics. That's completely different. I'll make a whole series of videos on those later. But for the national politics of the day, they have to get out of this idea that it's okay to just like be right down the middle. It's okay to take a stand on certain things. It's okay to actually pick a side, especially whenever you can see the two different options. They're completely different. And I'm going to do another video about the people that think that both sides are the same, so I'm not going to end up getting into that, although that's a huge thing here. But, you know, it should not be normal that the party out of power will just automatically gain like a couple % of votes across the country, just automatically, just without even doing anything. They don't even have to do anything. At least the people on the left and the right, like they're voting for their principles. People in the middle, they just see themselves as, well, you know, as we're better than everybody else. All these other people, they can fight about it. We know what's best. Well, how has that worked out? How has it worked out over the last 20 years? It hasn't done anything but make the government more and more lazy because they don't have to do anything. If, like, for example, if the Republican Party, who has control of the House, you tell me, where is their incentive to do anything to actually help the country out? Because let's be honest, they know that moderates are going to reward them the worse the country is doing. So the worse the country's doing, the more they can blame it on Biden, then the better their chances of being elected are. That's just the way it is. So if you're a moderate in this country and all you're going to do is just flip the stuff back and forth, you got to ask yourself, is that helping? Are you really doing anything to actually help the country? Or do you just like sitting up on your high horse looking down at everybody else playing around in the mud? You know, and again, I'm not beating up on anybody. I'm just saying, you know, so that is really, really a huge, huge problem in this country. Because moderates, they have to actually pay attention. They have to get involved in the politics. They have to actually, you know, choose sides on certain times. I mean, this last election, the Republicans literally just tried a violent takeover of the federal government. They tried a violent takeover of the federal government. And a good portion of moderates in this country, because the economy wasn't where it needs to be, food prices are up, inflation, all that, because of that, they really didn't punish the Republican Party for any of that. So then, like, everything in this country and all of the politics in this country basically just comes down to dumb luck. Like, oh, whoa, where's the economy at around an election time? What are the headlines around an election time? It's okay to take a stand. It's okay to have principles. Like if you're right, being right in the middle is not a good thing. You know, to use the thing that everybody talks about all the time, Nazi Germany or whatever, the people that were in the middle, they're the ones that helped it spread and helped it grow to a lot larger than it would have been without them saying that, well, let's just stay in the middle and not take sides. Like at certain times, it's okay to take sides. You have to take sides. So again, I'm not here to beat up on anybody. Just I think that we can all focus on the things in our own faction. So y'all have a great evening. Thank you.